Well, all right. It is Friday, May 24th. It's 11 a.m. where I'm at, which makes it what? I can't do math. 2 p.m. East Coast, and just ready to wrap up the day, wrap up the week. What a week. Look at this. 9 wins, 10 losses. I'm all for 19 trades in a week, but I'm not for 47%. It's just a terrible week. I mean, most of this, the bulk of this is my trading from yesterday. 10 trades yesterday, 5 wins, 5 losses. So I wasn't doing myself any favors yesterday. Managed, if you were around yesterday, you saw that I managed to keep this 250K account alive, added to it today. And then I blew a 50K yesterday with those 5 losses. So today, much different, much different day for me, just in terms of my trading, my patience. Now, Apex did extend the 90% promo to May 30th, which is now next Thursday. And, if you caught wind of me trading yesterday was supposed to be the end of the 90% sale and the end of the promo. And so I don't know what it was about yesterday, but there was a lot of price movement, and my brain just said, hey, you might as well just take some risky trades and try things out, because the worst thing that's going to happen is you lose an account or two and you just buy them back for $16 each. And that was in my head. That was right from the start of the day. That was in my mind. In the beginning of the day yesterday, I wasn't taking trades. There's a big, huge move down. I didn't find a way to get into it and capitalize on it. And then I still had in my mind that we were going to recover and still retest the high yesterday. It never happened. There was a little bit of a push up, and then it just dropped even more and took the whole previous day back. And at a certain point, I lost my ability to stay disciplined and look for a good setup. So I just wanted to start trying things. And it was the last day of the sale, like I said. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to take advantage of the sale. I had in my mind that I wanted to have, this many accounts that you're seeing here. I wanted to have this many for the time that the sale ended. And that was the whole thing. So I just started trading with the Bollinger Band and just taking trades that really I had no business taking, and then I wasn't even entering the trades properly according to how I was trying them in my limited time trying them on Sim, and just 5 and 5. And then, really the only reason I recovered the 250K account by the end of the day is I just took a stab in the dark and said, okay, that's been selling off all day. Let me just see if I can ride this thing down to the low, the previous day's low. And that ended up working out. And I made, it made something like 5,000 back on my last trade yesterday. It was all pretty ridiculous. Today, Apex extended the 90% promo, but I've already got more accounts than I know what to do with, right? It would take me taking 10 trades a day to probably work through all of these accounts like I'm going to need to. And I'm still going to push to really try to trade all of these accounts before the 1 month is up and pass or fail. So there may be some YOLOing in my future. But yeah, so today I just decided, you know what? It's the Friday before a long weekend. I had a bad week. Just stick to my rules, take the trades according to my setups that I'm comfortable with. And whether it's on the 1 minute chart, or if I can get a BS trade on the tick chart, or if it's the orb trade, whatever it is, just play my game. I know I'm an 80+% trader when I'm just playing my game. So today I had a lot of patience. I started just before 6:30. I started my stream at 6:25, and which was around here. And I didn't have this chart early on. The chart that I'm looking right here, this is a tick chart, and I didn't have this chart early on. It wasn't until much later in the day, and I did end up taking a trade on the tick chart, and a BS system trade. For anyone that hasn't followed me or has followed me, you know that when I start my day, I look for tick charts where every second entry is working for my predetermined target profit. And those are the charts I like to trade on the tick charts. And then I look for second entries. So today started off similar to a lot of other days where just immediately, find a chart and then the chart gets a losing entry, and find a chart gets a losing entry. And I just kept doing it over and over until I landed on this chart. And even to, well, no, it finally did get a loss after this trade. I didn't take it. But yeah, so just found discipline today, found my patience again, which is how I typically trade, and waited for a really solid, good setup, and I got it. So, when I trade that way, I trade really well. I don't get a lot of trades a lot of times. Sometimes I get more than others, but I'm definitely a more consistent trader trading this way, 4 out of 5 typically, or 8 out of 10. And to a certain degree, that's what I need to do, but also to a certain degree, I don't want to spend a lot of time on these evaluations. So like I'm giving myself a month to pass or fail these evaluations and then reassess at the end of that month. But I don't want to just carry over, a lot of accounts that haven't passed yet or failed yet. So, I've been keeping track of my stats for the whole year. I don't think the stats really reflect where my trading is at, because I went from 82% down to 78% just in the span of like a 2-week period. And it's mostly because, I'm trying some new things. Like I started trading on the 1-minute chart. And now I started looking at the Bollinger Bands. And 1 second here. Let me get my dog to stop barking here. All right, so hopefully he'll stop barking. So, I think my win rate has suffered. And even yesterday when I was taking the trades, I was like, all of these trades, none of the 10 trades I took yesterday were based on any setup that I've ever taken in the past 6 months. So I don't know why I'm adding them to my stats, other than the fact that these stats do reflect all of my trades for the year taken on Apex accounts. So I decided, okay, well, I might as well count them, because it still fits that rule that it's being taken on the Apex accounts. But as you can see, it's suffered because I'm taking trades that are outside of my normal systems. Fine, it is what it is. 9 and 10 for the week, 47%, really bad. 1-0 for today. And I'm still, haven't been taking a lot of the orb trades lately, but I am 20 and 3 with them so far since I've been taking them, 87%. I'm going to continue to take them. Going to try to take them according to the rules, even on the evaluations, even though I know on the evaluations I don't need to trade by the rules. I want to practice trading them according to the rules, so that if I can still be good at it, then I'll trade it on the PA, and I'll just trade it according to the rules. And we'll see whether they approve that or not when it comes time to a payout, if I ever get to a payout. Because as you've seen me say, I've now gone through 10 PAs and never have gotten a payout yet. So I'm still working on that. I'm still shocked by that. All right. So yeah. So I think I've talked about everything. So yeah, 90% sale goes on. There's really no trading Monday. I mean, the market's open for some hours, like Sunday into Monday morning, but it's going to be probably terrible volume. Not worth trading. I'm not going to trade Monday. I don't trade Sundays. So I'm not going to be trading until Tuesday. So come back Tuesday. You'll check out my live stream starting at 9:25 Eastern to about 1:30 Eastern. And, unless you're still trading right now, I wouldn't buy any more accounts today. I'd wait till, whenever you're going to trade next, Monday or Tuesday, so that, you have as full of a month as you can have to trade those accounts. And you can use this code or any other code you have to get the promo. And I do appreciate the few of you that have been using it lately. I've seen a small uptick in the number of accounts being used with the code, and I really just appreciate it. So thank you for that. And all right, let's get into my one trade of the day, and I'll show you the 1-minute chart as well when we get into this. But yeah, 1-0 today. I made $436 on account 43, which is the 250K account, up just about 2,000. Just under 2,000 so far on it. The profit target for the account is 15,000 to be able to get a PA. So a long way to go. And then I didn't take the trade on 41, which still, just this one trade today, either one of these amounts, depending on how many contracts I trade, would have passed the account today. But I wasn't supremely confident in this trade. I liked it, but I just felt like, you know what, it's been kind of weird this whole week. Let me get out of this week and then trade it next week. I have plenty of time before it renews. I think it was like the second or third week of June. So plenty of time. Don't want to push my luck this week on a 47% week. And so I traded on this one. So this was one of my new accounts. So first trade on it, first day on it. And about another 2,000 to go on that one. So let's take all this stuff off the screen and take a look at my single trade today. All right, so here we go. This is the full session from the open yesterday. And really, there's kind of a few different ways to like measure a few different measured moves. Like you can see that one reached it perfectly. And then there was another leg up. So it's kind of like 3 legs up essentially. And then that one was measured basically almost perfectly. And looks like actually now it finally reached it fully all the way over here. Just on the last bar. So, so there's clearly an up biased market and not really very many deep pullbacks. The market was kind of choppy actually when it opened here, back and forth. I couldn't really figure out what was going on. I had a long bias overall, and then it went, and then I pretty much figured, with this sharp move up. I mean, if you were to draw a trend line, right? I mean, it is a very healthy trend. So you would expect to get a retest of that high. I don't like drawing trend lines anymore, so I don't. But I see it, and so I would expect to retest that high. And so here we had a new high. We had a first entry above this green bar. And let me make this a little bit bigger. So I had a first entry there, and this was a second entry above the EMA. And, I really figured as long as I had enough room to there, I would be good. Oh, I don't have my marks on. Let me turn that on. All right, here we go. So now you can see the marks. Here's my entry, 1 tick above. And for this one, since this was on the BS system, I invoked my good old auto stop strategy. So instead of looking for a target to capture, I'm going for a certain profit target, and then my auto stop moves up with price and tries to capture as much of the move as it can before the price moves back a little bit, and it's just very tight. And so I got about 16 ticks. My follower account didn't close right away. So that's why I actually traded less contracts, but made more money on the 50K account. And I just noticed it looked like Replicanto closed it like a few seconds after, and it just was able to make more money that way. At least Replicanto knew to close it when it got out of sync. So I think their new function is working pretty well for that, even though it didn't close it immediately when the leader account closed. All right, so I was a little bit hesitant on this trade just because, we essentially had what I consider would be 3 legs up when looking at this chart. 1 leg up, 2 legs up, 3 legs up, perfectly measuring the measured move. And so a lot of times you get, the market moves in twos. And so when you get that 3rd leg up, usually, or a lot of times that can be where it rolls over. And so I was a little bit concerned about that. And even though it didn't meet the measured move exactly until over here way later, for all intents and purposes, it seemed like that's what it did, right? It's not that far off. So in taking this trade, the only other thing that I saw that I liked about it is when it pushed through the EMA, it couldn't reach 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 the EMA. And then finally, here was the first time it reached the EMA. And then it had that huge, strong bounce up. So the fact that when it came up here, basically it got to the measured move. We had the first entry, the second entry long. It was the first close below the EMA, and then a strong rejection from that level above for a second entry setup. And so for that reason, I felt good to take the trade, but I didn't feel good enough to switch it over to this evaluation and try to pass it today. So maybe that's just a lack of confidence from how this week has gone. But I just decided to put it onto one of the new accounts and just get one of the new accounts started. So that was my one and only trade today. Got more than 16 ticks on the 50K account, but I never did look and see what it was. Let me actually take a look now, because here, this is the leader account, and we can see I got about 16 ticks, about 4 points, maybe 1 tick less on 4 contracts. This account I was trading 6 contracts on the 250K. So let me switch it over to the 50K and see what we got. All right, so here's the 50K account. You can see I was in for 4 contracts only on this one. And yeah, I got 7 points. So instead of 16 ticks, I got, was that 28 points? Or 28 ticks on the follower account, the 50K evaluation 45. So that worked out even better for me on the follower. And Replicanto, I gotta say, worked great. I mean, it saw that the leader account was already out of the trade, and then it's set for like, okay, if 3 seconds goes by and it's not in sync, or the leader's out of the trade, then take the follower out too, and got me more profit. So it worked really well. I didn't have to manually close it or anything. So that's pretty awesome. That's an improvement from what I've seen in the past. So yeah, what else can I mention? Let me see here. Right, so here's the 1 minute chart, and this is all the overnight, and the open wasn't until over here. So just looking at this real quick, the open trade, the orb, I just didn't like it. Like, I didn't like the short, and I didn't like the long. Let's see. I think this was the candle. Yeah, this is the candle before the open. And, you know, the way I saw it, we were inside basically this range this whole way, this whole time. And it was pretty consistent. And so I didn't like the long necessarily. Like, I figured we would retest the high. And so when this spiked before the open, I didn't want to take a long above that. Just to like make a new high and then jam down. And I didn't want to take a short like right below the candle, because I didn't want it to like, you know, be kind of like a failed second entry short that then goes and makes the new high and beyond. So I didn't like the short. I didn't like the long. I didn't want to play it wide either. You know, if I played it wide, look what would have happened. I could have probably got top ticked here after the fact, and just for it to go against me and lose and then end up going higher. So I just didn't like it. I stayed out of it. It was just too chaotic for me. And then sat through all of this, just not seeing anything that I liked. You can see I was making measured moves and everything. And then we got into this tight thing up here. And then this is where I took my trade on the tick chart. The only other trades that I potentially kind of liked that I was considering on the 1 minute, I kind of liked this. I had a measured move though already, but what I was kind of thinking was still for a retest of the high. And we had a first entry, second entry long right off the EMA, right off the midline of the Bollinger. And I figured I would play it for a target right to, you know, these highs where this white line is. But it just wasn't a lot of room. And what I've been noticing on the Bollinger is when you go from a high of a Bollinger and it pierces through, you usually go back down to the low. But what I'm finding too is usually it's twice. So I don't know if I'd count this as 1, 2, but this 1, 2 here, and then it goes to the bottom of it. And you can find those multiple times. 1, 2 here goes to the top. And this obviously had to close outside, so then it went back to the bottom. You know, kind of 1, 2, 3 over here, back to the top. Anyway, I kind of like that trade, but I just decided to stay conservative and stay out of this one. And then there was a higher low here. I liked this. I kind of wanted it to close above the EMA. It would have been right off of the support level of this kind of range that I was saying. Had a breakout below it, back in. It was after a second entry long, first entry, second entry long, higher low, but it was under the EMA, and so that made me double question it. And I wasn't sure, this almost touched the top of the Bollinger, but not quite. In my experience, it has to actually touch it before it goes back to the other side, which is what ended up happening. So I got to keep observing that and see if I can use that to my advantage. Because if it comes up short, it usually will keep trying until it actually gets there. So that was another trade I felt like I could have taken, would have worked, and skipped it. And then other than that, this is the live market now. So it looks like we finally got the new high, made another new high off of that, and now we're selling off. So who knows what's in store for the rest of the market, but I'm definitely done. It was a tough week. 19 trades, and to lose more than half of them, a 3-day weekend couldn't have come at a better time for me. Clear my mind, get right. I've got all these accounts ready to go. The 90% sale is still on, so I could come back fresh and strong on Tuesday. And I've got 3 trading days to really try to see what I can do in that time. Be aggressive, but try to trade right. And who knows, maybe I can find a little time over the weekend to just do a little bit of playback and test out some of my theories with the Bollinger Band, because yesterday was a little bit of a disaster. Trading virtually all my trades were because of the Bollinger Band yesterday, and 5 and 5 is not a good look. So I would like to get in some time back testing that on playback and seeing if I can make some sense out of it for my trading style and see if it could be helpful to me. And go from there. So once again, 90% discount. I don't suggest using it now and wasting 3 days over the weekend where you can't trade. Wait till next week. But if you use my code, I do appreciate it. And let's see here. All right. So talked about the promo, talked about being disciplined today after being terrible yesterday. 1-0. And let that be the beginning of a new streak that I will continue next week. 9:25 Eastern, Tuesday to 1:30. And we'll do it for 4 days next week. So thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate all the new subscribers and likes and people commenting and chatting with me. If you haven't come by and chat with me in the live stream. It always makes it more interesting for me and probably for those that watch the streams as well. And hopefully I can work on getting the win rate back up, but more importantly, need to qualify, get some PAs, and need to get the real challenge started, which is getting PA number 11 and beyond and getting to that payout. So I'm going to come back stronger and better and make it happen. All right. I've said it all. Have a good weekend. Hope you had a good trading week, and see you next time.